Welcome everybody to the after church tea time. We have a very juicy topic to talk with you today. And we have an amazing lineup of people here. Yeah, we have an amazing group of people with us today. So
first of all, let's introduce ourselves. So I'm Laurencio.
And I'm Alexandra. And we are joined today by... Who's going first?
Hello, we are Kieran and Stephanie.
Perfect.
Hello, we are Jose and Miquela.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, you can start that then, like just speaking about the sermon. So
yeah, speaking about Harmonious Twin Flame Union, and both Kieran and Stephanie and Jose and Miquela are as well in Harmonious Union. So we are a group of people that have went to deeply embodying these 8 fundamentals that Jason and Chrissy went deeper into the sermon. So I feel like all of us have very strong feelings and experiences about these 8 fundamentals. So yeah, I'm sure there's going to be an hour full of discussion. So yeah, let us get started. And who would want to share first about the topic or how they feel about the sermon in general?
Yeah, I guess I'll start. I really enjoyed today's sermon. It was super juicy and full of energy, full of everything someone could need to be successful on their twin flame journey. And I love how, even starting before the sermon, Granville was talking about what a foundation actually is. And I think he just perfectly set up your mind to be ready to receive the fundamentals, and really how important it is to build, and how honestly how pleasurable it is to build that foundation. And before I started this work, one of the things that I thought and that I had to heal even through this work deeply is about foundation, because a part of me kind of wanted to neglect foundation to go get the shiny thing. And I noticed that I see this a lot with people on their twin flame journeys, is they kind of just want to go get their twin flame without recognizing that it's a relationship with themselves, without fully understanding that, and bringing that healing and love everywhere in their life, and not understanding how, I think, is the issue there. So I just love Jason and Chrissy going through the fundamentals, the 8 fundamentals from twin flames, finding your ultimate lover, and breaking it down so anybody can understand it. It was just so perfect.
yeah, beautiful. And yeah, I don't know, like you.
I saw Miquela, I think, wanted to unmute herself and say something.
Yeah, I agreed with what Stephanie said. I think I went through a similar experience where I don't know, I guess the world kind of growing up, I know Jason and Chrissy talk about programming and how you're not really programmed to, be happy and feel good. And I think one of those things is you're not really programmed to care about your foundation either. You're programmed to reach for the high thing, which is definitely the number one cause for issues with harmonious union, or not creating relationships, not being stable. But yeah, that's one thing about this teaching that I'm very, very grateful for, is that it continuously reinforces the importance of foundation, and it always brings you back to foundation, and then back to foundation, and then you deepen your foundation, because we're creating something eternal. So yeah,
that is why it's so worth it to take your time building it, your foundation, because some people in relationships, they go for it, and then the relationship is not grounded. It's not stable, twin flame or not. Society don't really teach you, how to have this. Yeah, I'm so grateful for the teaching and for these 8 keys, because you can always come back and go deeper into them. You can always like go deeper into each one of them in your union. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful, and I agree that you can always go deeper into these fundamentals, be it in harmonious union or not. Like they are like the fundamentals because you use them all the time. And I found that like in our journey, in our relationship, we always go to like kind of like healing cycles in which we come back and now like, oh, now we're healing around respect. And that's kind of like a theme around our healing on, oh, now we're healing around honesty. And it feels like we're always going deeper, and we're always going deeper with these fundamentals in our own relationships, in our own lives. And this is why it's so important always, like Chrissy said, like in the sermon, that she's always coming back to like these 8 fundamentals and reading from the book and everything. I do the same thing, and I just have this kind of like inspirations, like, oh, maybe I should read about unconditional love now. Oh, maybe I should read about forgiveness now. Oh, I should read about this, persistence, right? So I always go back to snippets from the book. So if it's anybody that's watching, it doesn't have the book, To Influence Finding Your Ultimate Lover, highly recommend you check it out, you buy it, and you read these 8 fundamentals fully and completely, because Jason and Chrissy gave you like a very good like understanding of them, but like that even explained deeper in the book, so you can like deepen into like your understanding of the 8 fundamentals as well. So yeah, I really love that, and I love how you can always go deeper, as I said.
And yeah, like one would, like a very good point here is to revisit them over and over again, because each time you get something new. Like that's something that Alexandra always like stumbles upon. Like she starts reading and like, oh, how didn't I see this before? Like I didn't understood this until in this way until now. It's very beautiful seeing how like we always go deeper and we get new understandings from the same words in the book. Same words, but again and again. It gives you so much more deepness.
Yeah, there is a lot of depth, and this is applicable to like all of Jeff and Shalea's teachings, but especially with these 8 fundamentals, it's like going deeper into them. For us, at least, we see that it's I get them, like I always kind of have like an aha moment, or I feel like, when I'm going through maybe like an upset or something, and I read a specific passage, I always feel like a relief in that space. There's always healing brought, when you come back to the fundamentals, because you choose to align in that space, and aligning to these fundamentals feels very, very, very good. It feels very, very good, and not being in these fundamentals doesn't feel so good. Christy said, like, you're going to leave your energy away. So therefore, all of this energy is coming back as you choose to heal in this space. Yeah.
Yeah, I resonate with that a lot, that relief feeling of grounding into the foundation of the pillars, because things come up in your union that, like Jason and Chrissy mentioned specifically, is those cycles of healing, right? And like you were alluding to as well within the pillars, it's everywhere. But we always come back around, and especially your twin flame will challenge you and teach you in the hardest and most painful places that you've ever had, in order so that you may go through it this time in love yourself, be honest with yourself, wherever you're not aligning with those core values, those key fundamentals. We have to realign. And so there was times and I guess I'll share an example from our union of where this was applicable. There was times when things came up between us where it felt in the moment really chaotic, like I couldn't understand it. I didn't know why or what was going on. And all I really could do is ground into those fundamentals, into the work. And if I tried to fix it on my own and control and go outside of myself, or try to go up without coming back down into those fundamentals, we wouldn't have resolved anything, and we would have gotten stuck. And I remember there was, especially when we first started living together, we kind of hit that because I had so much trauma around the home and like sharing space, because I had a sister growing up where I shared space until I was 16 years old. And so that, of course, all came up, especially when we first came together. And I really had to face that part of myself because it was just a reflection of what was going on, that internal struggle inside of me. And man, oh man, I felt like I was a 13-year-old girl again with all the angst, all the stress, and it really did feel really really scary. But because I had those fundamentals inside of me and I chose them, because you always have that choice to defy them and try to do it your way, like Jason and Chrissy said, but it's painful to do that. It does not work. And so there's always that moment of like, okay, do I choose to, be really compassionate with myself during this experience, during this trigger? Do I choose to be really honest with how I feel? Do I choose to be really unconditionally loving and not try to project it or abuse in a way, or protect myself even? Just move through it with these key fundamentals. That was the moment that it was like he was revealed even deeper to me. And it's like we were able to make space. We moved through the shit, excuse my language, but we moved through that and we found deeper harmony with us. We went deeper together in our love. And ever since then, of really, breaking those experiences, almost like traumas coming up to be finally faced and released, moving through them, grounding into the fundamentals, loving ourselves, not giving up when we hit them, because man, it was heavy and hard sometimes. Every single time afterwards, we came out stronger. We fell deeper into love. We connected deeper with each other. We found our deeper core value there together. We communicated better. We finally transcended the junk. And the way to do that was grounding into like every single one of these values, essentially. It was the only way. And now we get to keep that in our relationship, which is really beautiful. Everything is like, it feels peaceful and grounded. And like, I finally transcended that pattern and I won't have to go back around in that place again because we worked through it. And that's really powerful. And it's worth every moment of studying and self-reflection and self-love to get there and move through it. And I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, thank you for saying this. And so an important part that I loved about Jason and Chris's setting is about like, especially honesty, and the importance of forgiveness and unconditional love, because these situations happens when you are like in chaos and you don't know what's going on, and actually you are going deeper into harmony, you are going deeper into love, but it seems difficult.
Seems the opposite.
The opposite, and it's like, what's going on here? And yeah, that moments when you really need to ground in, okay, what is the teaching, the things that I know already, and let's ground into them again. Let's go deeper into this or into that.
Yeah, it really is like the foundation, because something Jeff has said recently in our Saturday class was like how storms will come that have the ability to like uproot you. And always, like on your ascension journey, like you're always going to go through more challenges. Even when you get to harmonious union, like it's not the end of the work, it's kind of like the beginning of the really deep stuff sometimes. So yeah, like having those foundational keys like really deeply rooted in your consciousness, because you prepared so well ahead of time with Jeff and Shaleia's work to have harmonious union. It's like in those moments where you're so triggered and there's just a lot going on and you're projecting a lot, it's in those moments that you're able to just like remember the truth that like your twin flame is your mirror, only love is real, and you can heal through it, and it always brings you closer. And yeah, like honesty is something that's really important. I mean, obviously all of them are important, but I also remember once Jeff and Shaleia said that sometimes you have to speak to your twin flame in a way that you would not speak to a normal person, like another person, or like if you were in a soulmate relationship, you would say something to your twin flame that would just like maybe destroy that kind of relationship, because you have to just be so honest with how you're feeling. So it's like on the outside, it looks a little bit,
Yeah,
opposite of what you've been taught.
that's what they say about healthy relationship, like needs uncomfortable conversations. And it's part of doing the inner work together. Like sometimes, you are honest, like this feels bad or this is going on here. And it's so important to have all of that experience in practicing these principles, because it's not a one-time thing.
Yeah.
Like I do this, it's done. No, it's like a constant going deeper into forgiveness, into love, into honesty. And you're always going to go deeper. That's why a foundation is so important, because you need to practice that again and again and again. And the more you practice, the easier it gets when some conflict or fight or upset shows up in the
That's true.
union.
Yeah, it gets easier and easier. Yeah. And then Oceana and Chrissy were talking a lot about forgiveness in the comments. And I think that is really important. Yeah, Oceana said, I feel I had an aha experience of what forgiveness really means. It's so huge in HTFU. And I feel that too. I remember once Jeff told me that if you're upset at your twin flame and you don't let go, like you're gonna always be upset with them. So it's time to just, learn forgiveness.
Yeah, I really resonate with that, and I really loved that part that you said, Jose, about having a safe space, like in your union to open up and be honest with each other. Because I feel like that's something that Chris really emphasized on, like having that safe to just have that uncomfortable conversation that normally would look very disruptive
and would destroy, a soulmate relationship. But in this case, it's you just strengthening your union with this, and it all starts with like being honest. And
like it's so valuable to be honest, because I feel like since we have cultivated that space of safety in our union, we can really go so much deeper, and like it's we can really change stuff in our life that we don't like. We don't have to see it and just feel bad about each other, about some things that we do. We can just be honest and make a change accordingly.
Yeah, like you build that trust with one another. And one of the most important things, and I always come back to this, especially when we're maybe going through something, is that nothing happens, like your twin flame is not upsetting you because they're hurting you or with the intention to hurt you. They're just showing you a place within yourself where you need to love yourself. And when you have this awareness, and this is a little bit before like the eight keys of harmonious union is the stages of the union, like the meeting, the decision, the meeting, and there's the upset, and there's unconditional love. And in the upset, like it's a lot of emphasis on this thing, like your twin flame is not upsetting you, so they are, because they want to hurt you, right?
Someone has been reading the book a lot.
Yes. But and this is where unconditional love and forgiveness do really come in, so you can like move to the experience, right? And really choose to have joy and happiness in your relationship, because upon these situations, you're fully freed when you heal. And like Stephanie was sharing, oh my God, I healed this pattern and now I'm fully free of it. Well, imagine how it would feel, this uncomfortable thing that you have within you, to be able to like let it go and never experience it again. Like that's the beauty of being with your twin flame, and applying these eight keys in your life is not because of, oh, let's look at all of these painful things, and all of these painful things are happening, is because like we're freeing ourselves from all of these chains of suffering that we have like been put under, we've put ourselves under.
Like really being compassionate. That's
and you have to be compassionate with yourself and your twin flame in this process, right?
It requires a huge amount of compassion, moving through all of these, and just like releasing extra like guilt of like what, or shame or whatever may come for having these feelings. Because I feel like a big thing in your foundation would be here to don't hold those feelings as like you're bad because you feel them, or like judge those feelings, because that never serves, that never like supports you in actually healing. And here is important to see what's the value here, because if you value really like your foundation, you would heal to whatever it comes.
You love yourself out of that situation.
Yeah.
Good. Unconditional love, not just for your twin flame when they're, you know, acting crazy or they're going through something, but for yourself as well. Right? It's one and the same in the end, but yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I love that. And it just reminds me, while we're talking about all of this, about how important it is to just like take your time on this journey and not try to rush to your harmonious union, because it's just not worth it. Like, it's not worth it to, like, you know, maybe reach
time and space to go through all of that.
Because like reach that point where it's like Jeff and Shaleia say, like, consistently throughout classes and everywhere, that your twin flame amplifies what's within you. So your harmonious union is not going to bring you like some happiness. Like, you're not going to suddenly be like saved, you know, from your problems. They're going to actually be kind of like amplified. And so that's why having a foundation and really, taking your time, understanding that like your love is within you, it doesn't come from your harmonious union, and just like taking your time to really like master and apply Jeff and Shaleia's work and really like deepen in these foundation, these like the 8 keys, very important.
Yeah, and it's the point when you get like more work in a way. Like, some people expect I get there and that's it.
It's like retirement.
Just
like,
no, it's when you start a job. It's when you start like going deeper into everything, and you can really go deeper into the teaching a lot more and in your union a lot more. So it's not, anything to rush. Take your time, build the foundation, and be comfortable with it. So you can be confident in your union when things come up, because they are going to come up, and it's okay. But you need to be prepared for them and have mastery.
Yeah, like mastering the 8 keys within yourself ahead of time.
The mirror exercise.
Well, the mirror exercise.
Yeah, so perfect. And something that I really deeply took from it, and it touched me in the sermon today, is after talking about the 8 keys, Chrissy turned to Jason and said, well, what does it feel like for you? And he just said, well, it's freedom. And that moment when he shared that, I was like, oh, like felt that. I was like, yes, absolutely. And I think sometimes people, I guess I should speak for myself. Before I healed this and came into harmonious union, as we all heal this within ourselves in order to come into harmonious union, a part of me wanted to believe that a foundation, and feeding that foundation and nurturing it and having a really strong, rich foundation relationship with your foundation was somehow going to hinder my freedom. But the actual truth was, it was the key to it, as perfectly described in the sermon today. And it feels amazing.
And I also wanted to say, because I saw a lot of people that kind of get discouraged or something, that, it's a lot of work, that you need to go within yourself and heal everything. And well, that's not kind of easy sometimes, because you're like, it's a place that you never were. And, but it's so like worthy and so valuable, because like the work you do is like get you something, it give you a lot of peace, a lot of love. And that is like really forever. You really feel that when you heal some stuff, like your down is not here at all, it totally disappear, and that is so valuable. Because I feel like some days ago, a couple of soulmates, and you see how it's painful to be with a soulmate, because like you put a lot of effort, even more effort, and it's very painful because you don't have this energy. You put a lot of effort to try to kind of keep this union that's still alive or something, but it just look like horrible. And instead of that, you can just take all this energy and put in healing yourself and really have something that is true and that is really real. Because otherwise, it's just an illusion. So it's up to you of what you want to feed, an illusion of something really real and based on love. And it's, and if you look at that, it's even more easy to heal yourself than trying to feed the illusion, because that's really painful.
Yeah, it's like what Chrissy was saying in the sermon, how it really does create that your union is the safe space to go deeper with, for example, honesty. When you pointed out so perfectly that, with the soulmate, there is no safe space to be fully honest. And so when we transition into fully grounding into our harmonious union and claiming it, making that choice, the upset will come up of, are you going to be fully honest here? And honest with yourself and how you feel, including in your not just, we had this come up, we talked about it in our Wednesday class with Jeff and Shaleia before, how everything on the outside kind of seemed like it was looking great in our union, but there was very clearly something that fell off. And he had brought it up to Jeff and asked, all these beautiful things are happening. I'm having so much energy, but my body doesn't feel comfortable. And that was also a block. That was also something for us to address in our union. It was just the next piece. And it was because I wasn't being honest with myself about really communicating what I needed in the relationship. I felt uncomfortable inside of me. And so I wasn't choosing to fully listen to myself there. And Jeff, of course, perfectly pointed it out and guided us into the healing there. And that was something that I had to work through, because with all soulmate relationships before, that was the place that I kind of got screwed. That was the place, like I had to always abandon parts of myself and my needs in order to keep the relationship, like you were talking about. And so in order to go deeper into my harmonious union, and honestly, to keep it, because if I don't address these and I don't continuously go deeper, we won't keep our harmonious union. And as we've seen in the community, and as that cycle goes, right? And so it just requires that persistence of continuously going deeper. I had to be really honest, like, oh yeah, yep, I don't feel like I'm, this is the place where I'm not really honoring myself and my feelings. And now I need to actually go through that emotional process of communicating it and work through those blocks that come up. Well, just the relationship side of things as well. And so, honesty was definitely, I always felt like I was a very honest person with others, but I recognized all the places where I was not being honest with myself. And that's the biggest key to my inner freedom and that inner peace and delicious, juicy feeling that I deserve.
Yeah, that's really nice. And I really loved what you said there about you have to keep going and keep healing, keep at it. And I feel like that's essential here. And that's actually one of the keys, commitment.
Yeah, and actually, like Jeff and Shaleia, like say, I remember in a class like about it, because I was going on to commitment, and I was feeling there's something about commitment here, and then he said something, and I just it came to me. You're always 100% committed to something, and that's either to love or either to separation. You cannot be 80%, 20%. 20%, 80%, 50-50. You cannot. You're either all in with something or either you're not. And this is where you have to like really honor yourself. And this is why about like the commitment is all about going all in. You cannot be 80% on your twin flame journey. You cannot be 99% on your twin flame journey.
You cannot be 99.99%.
Yeah, even that is not enough. And in truth, both the relationships, so both being with the twin flame or both being with the soulmate, requires 100% of you. But one of them will drain you of your energy, and one of them will uplift you into higher levels of divine love. It's your choice. I think that is an obvious superior choice, but but yeah, it's safe to like see that the importance of commitment in this journey, and honor if you are committed. If you are committed and you have been doing the work and you've been doing the mirror exercise for years and you are diving deeper into your own consciousness to hear, then honor that, yeah, you are committed. because I feel like people get tripped up on this, like they feel like they are not committed, and I sometimes trip myself up on this. Like I feel like I'm not committed enough, but I am, and
of course, you just have to love that part that doesn't feel enough, and then
you just have to there needs to be more commitment, but it's only your decision to go all in 100%. You don't need to be 120% in your twin flame journey. That's also not appropriate. You can't do that, and you'll make yourself just like feel bad then. You are enough.
Yeah, and I feel like what you're talking about really ties nicely with what Oceana said a while ago. You are constantly tested on your twin HTFU, and it matters of, are you going to choose love through this? And that's like the commitment part. Are you going to commit to love? Are you going to keep choosing? Are you going to be 100% committed to love in every moment, no matter what happens, no matter how ugly the situation may look or it gets? Are you going to choose love?
Or even when it's beautiful, are you gonna abandon yourself or say like, oh, it's easy now, and you're just gonna, slack off? You can't do neither. You have to like remain digital and upkeep your garden, upkeep your like spiritual cleanliness. I don't know how to say hygiene.
Hygiene.
Yes, that's the word. Yeah.
Good. A moment of silence.
I want to say something about commitment. This that you said, that is 100%. And this is something that I realized in my journey, that this twin flame journey is not a hobby. This is your life. Once you take it, it's your life. It becomes everything. It's not, this side thing that you have and then your life. It's your life. You need to go all in with it. If not, there is no point. Because what is the other thing? If not, living this life of love. And that is, what it means for me to go all in. It's like, this is my life. I'm going to go with everything to the end. So, I think it's a very critical part and very important.
Yeah, like Jeff and Shaleia say in the classes, it's like you and your twin flame on a deserted island, and you have to figure it out. There's no boat that you can take. There's no escaping. You just have to figure it out. So.
Yeah, you can be mad, but at the end you're in the island.
Yeah, like it's okay to have your feelings and like not judge yourself and like go through upsets, but like the most important thing is that you always choose to move through it, and you always choose to deepen in love. And no matter how your twin flame may be acting, like maybe they're acting really dumb, and you're like, I don't understand.
It happens.
What's going on? Like, why are you acting this way? Like, I don't feel like I have this within me. But, you have to like humble yourself and like always remember the teaching.
Yep.
And like, it is okay to be upset, but it's okay. It's like so important to like choose love always. And never get stuck in an upset. Because it's true, like you can't maintain the vibration of harmonious union if you slack off in any way, like at all,
It's like taking out the trash with the inner world, you continually clean the house. If not, it gets like, full of trash. You need to clean it constantly. So that's it.
And the beautiful part is the more you do it, the better at it you get. And the more you study it, the easier and the more it lives within you, which is, I think what you guys were talking about a little bit earlier on in the live here. You talked about how, you literally, as you study it, it literally lives within you, you embody it, and it makes it easy. And I think that's one of the things that some people might be that's like, psychically, I can like feel people like, but that's a lot of work. But like anything, you practice and you get better, right? Until it becomes literally your lifestyle. And that's really, saying yes and moving forward into this as your foundation. It becomes one with you. It becomes a part of you, and it's easy. Of course, there's still upsets and there's still challenging feelings and everything, but it almost comes naturally of like, oh, I know what to do. And that's the best feeling when that's emotional intelligence right there. And that's something that I think is a life skill that hasn't really been taught or prioritized with people. And I'm really happy to cultivate that within myself. And I'm so grateful for Jeff and Shaleia and their work for teaching me this and for helping me and supporting me and cultivating it. In fact, even the community itself is built spiritually and physically to support us in healing and strengthening our foundation. Like, if you try to move forward on this journey and with the community in any way where you are ignoring your foundation, you will get called out for it. And you will be lovingly disciplined and supported in redirecting your energy back into creating that strong, that firm foundation for yourself, which is a blessing to be seen so deeply and loved so much. And so, yeah, I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, and also the thing is that you can't really avoid the healing here because, or avoid like a place in your life that you want to heal, because you need to heal every single place. Like James and Shaleia was talking about that, like I don't remember when, but that you can't have like harmonious union here and here you have like still nothing and you don't want to heal, you want to look at that. That's how you really lose harmonious union, because like, or you have harmony everywhere and you heal everywhere, or you have nothing, or you are with God or you are not, you know, or you are in love or you are not. And that's super important to because like I feel like it's what they Jeff and Shaleia was saying yesterday, I think in the class, that there's a lot of people, they are like half, you know, like when they are here in the community they are like all in, and after they go outside and they come back like home, stuff like that at work, and they kind of forget about that. And that is now not how it should be done, because that will bring nothing. And in fact, it's just like you're lying to yourself, because somewhere it's just like, oh, I'm keeping still an illusion of something, but you have nothing if you do like that, because you can't do half. You need to commit. It's what we were talking just before about commitment. You need to commit to something, and it's better to commit to love, because well, you can commit to other things, but it's like, just like we bring a lot of pain. And when you commit to love, you really have love, but everywhere, and not like just like in a relationship, not just at work or something, you know, every single place in your life. And that's also what I think a lot of people don't understand, that it's everywhere in your life that you have to heal and bring love to have your perfect life, not only your harmonious union with your twin flame. If you don't have your life purpose, if you refuse to work on that, if you refuse to work on the home, on every other place, well, you get nothing. Harmonious union, yes, okay, it's fine, but what you have to support that?
Going to eventually reflect in your harmonious union.
Yes, it will be really
And
hard
affect
to, yes, to be really hard to manage that, because you have nothing to support you. You maybe don't have the job to support that, the house, the family of something. It just bring a lot of struggle. That's why it's important to look at your foundation first, and address every single part of your life.
Right. Yeah, I feel like Jason and Chrissy covered that, and I think everyone here agrees and has mentioned it in some form, from what I've heard today in live, that you really can't be living two lives. That's not a strong, stable foundation. It really must. That's a like Jason and Chrissy mentioned in the sermon as well. That's a foundation on sand. If you build anything on sand, it will crumble, or cracks will start to. Or actually, I believe it was Granville who mentioned that today. Cracks will begin to appear in the walls. And so might as well have a strong foundation in love. But I also like what you talked about there, which is, you know, something that Jeff and Shaleia said. You can't ascend most of your life without ascending all of your life. And so you can't abandon one piece that you don't like about yourself and just feed and love the rest. Because what's going to eventually happen is you're going to build your tower so tall, but you abandon this part of yourself. And so eventually, you know, it's going to topple back over, and you're just going to meet yourself right where you were, where you avoided. Is that what you were pointing to? Yeah, that's not comfortable. That doesn't feel good.
Yeah, that feels good.
Yeah, so we don't choose to do that. Ascending all parts of our life and being honest with ourselves, even places where we might be numbed out. Listening to the important relationships in our life including our twin flame, our community, our family, to help show us, our coach as well, to show us maybe where we're abandoning ourselves, being honest, being committed, working through it, and moving forward. That's huge.
And I have to add something to that, and have forgiveness for yourself. I feel like that's so essential on this journey. And
we're talking just about like the 8 things over and over again. Have you noticed? Continue.
I love you. So yeah, about well, now I'm just like full of joy. But anyway, about forgiveness, what I wanted to say was that it's so essential, and it seems so fast in your union, actually. So it's such a fundamental thing for your union, because the moment you forgive yourself is the moment like you'll see reflected in your twin flame.
Mm-hmm.
And in harmonious twin flame union, that happens like so fast, and it's so, I know, it's incredible to see this. It's like one moment you're upset at each other, next moment, like after you forgive yourself fully and completely, it's like nothing happened.
Yeah, it's like you're, lions rolling around each other and going like, and then you're just like kittens, like hugging each other. Like it can be like that much of a difference, vibrationally speaking, between like upset and not upset. Anyway,
You just wanted to speak about cats.
yes, every time. Good. So, but something that I wanted to like also mention about like foundation is that in building like a divine life, harmonious union is the foundation of that life. And this is why it's so important, these fundamentals, to be extremely like strong and grounded in your relationship and in your life. It's because and I think like Jose and Michaela mentioned this a little like earlier, it was like it doesn't stop here, it actually just starts. Like harmonious union is the beginning of you building your own heaven on earth. So therefore you just like got the tools, these 8 keys of harmonious union that are just the tools that you are gonna use to build like basically your heaven on earth. So it's you and your twin flame working together in a very beautiful way to build this for yourselves. And I think like that's really beautiful. And on this foundation, because it's not sand, it's actually like a stable bedrock type of foundation, you will be able to rise and make all of your dreams come true together with your twin flame, right? And this is something that I think like Jeff and Shaleia mentioned, either in dreams coming true or Romance Attraction, is that you can make your dreams come true, come with your twin flame, and you work together on that. And these 8 keys are like fundamental for you building the life of your dreams together, making your dreams come true. And when your dreams are coming true and you achieve that, well, dream new dreams and get on to work, and you're gonna expand and build more awesome stuff together, do more, have more joy, have more love the way that you enjoy it. Well, maybe that new couch that you bought, it's a huge achievement for you in your journey, and that's amazing. And you worked your ass off for that. That was like a dream come true for you, and that's amazing, right? That new, apartment that you're moving into, it's, you work so hard for that, and it's a dream come true for you. So therefore, this is what, these 8 keys are ultimately helping you to make your dream come true. Go on to those beautiful, beautiful dates together with your twin flame, get, that beautiful apartment, go on that, vacation, complete that project together. All of these amazing things that you do together are built on this. And you might think like, oh my God, why it's so hard? Well, you have no idea what you're calling in, my friend, because it's all of your dreams coming true, not just like some of your dreams, not just like 50% of your dreams, not just like some, you know, the ones that are like less impossible than the others. No, it's all of them, right? And I think this is like really, really beautiful to give into perspective and see what's coming in by you diligently applying these 8 keys into your life. It's building onto something, and sometimes, and this is something that I had to hear within myself, is that when I came into this work and I first listened to Jeff and Shaleia, I had like a huge expansion in my consciousness of basically, oh, I can do that. Like this is most of like when I started TFAS and NPC, I was like, oh, I can do that. Oh, I can do that. Oh my God, can I do that? And it was like such a thing, because I was like so limited by the environment I lived in that I had no ideas my dreams could come true. And because I had no ideas that my dreams could come true, I had no idea how big my dreams were, because I never explored, I never allowed myself to see what is that beautiful relationship. Because I feel even maybe harmonious union, you think like, is this, oh, just this little thing in your life, but it's actually the perfect romantic relationship. Is the foundation of that, because it's growing, right? We're not in perfect union yet, right? So we're growing into like the perfect romantic relationship, and that's, you know, huge. That's huge. And to be given the tools and to be given the way and the core values for it in such a clear and concise and easy to follow way, like easy to understand by Jeff and Shaleia. And it is, I'm amazed. Like this book, guys, like it's not like the Bible or like the Bhagavad Gita, and you know, it's not like, you know, huge. It's fairly,
It's not a Course in Miracles.
It's not like a Course in Miracles, right? It's quite, you know, how to say, compact, bite size, you know, you can like easily read it. It's easy to digest. However, it gives you so much, and this is why we're coming back to it so much in all ways, not just like with these 8 keys, but with everything. Mirror exercise, you're getting stuck on how to do the mirror exercise, go back to the book, you know. And yeah, I went to like La La Land a little bit. I'm just gonna ground, but yeah, the life of your dreams is built upon these 8 keys. And this is why they're so important. This is why it's the fundamental. This is why you're always going to deepen, because when you want to expand, you need more foundation. More foundation means more fundamentals, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually the process, and it's beautiful. And you have like a certainty when you kind of get the rhythm of things. Oh, now I'm expanding, so I'm going deeper in my fundamentals. It's just the next step, and it becomes easier and easier. And as Jose and Michaela were saying at some point earlier, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like really reassuring to know this and to see it from this perspective, that this is all that I'm going to go deeper in my foundation over and over again. And having that reassurance that every time you move through one of the challenges, you're going to expand.
Yeah. And you're always going to come back to these 8 things, and you're going to look at them. It's like, okay, now we're working on forgiveness. Okay, now we're working on respect. Okay, now we're working on honesty. And it's so refreshing, because it's not this convoluted, what the fuck is happening to inflame journey. It's actually very distilled, very peaceful, very clear, very calculated. It's a science. It's a science, and this is why Jeff and Shaleia can come and say, okay, these are the fundamentals, because it works like a science. There's no 1 + 1 = 3 here. 1 + 1 = 2. Upset plus mirror exercise equals peace all the time.
If the formula is applied correctly.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know how I could possibly top that. I think you just like covered it. It was perfect. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that.
I just wanted to end on a motivational note, right? Because it's important to look at what you're calling in your life. Because I remember, and something that actually you said, Michaela, at some point that really stuck out to me was I remember you said before, I think discovering Jeff and Shaleia, you made the choice to have a beautiful life, and you didn't even know what this started all this journey. So maybe you can talk deeper about that. But yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. I was just thinking about that. Yeah, I remember it was just before I found the work, and I was working at this daycare, and it was not a nice experience. It was an experience where I had a little girl pour a pitcher of milk on my head, and it was just I was just, it was not a nice job. And I remember just sitting, I was staying later, and it was 10 at night, and I had to walk home, and it was covered in milk, and I was this is not a nice experience, and I choose to have I want just a beautiful life. And I want every part of my life to be beautiful and perfect. And I thought that was going to be a really easy choice. I would just go, I don't know, get a new place and get a good job and buy some new clothes, and that was it. But it was that choice led me to Jeff and Shaleia's teaching, which led me to all the stuff that I learned, and a lot of, blocks came up and continue to come up, and then Harmonious Union. It was just a 4 years later, and still working on that, So, but it gets better.
Yeah.
And better. Yeah. It's true. You might be really, I don't know, upset about all the challenges you have to go through. But like Alexandra said, you have no idea what you're actually calling in. If you had no idea that it was going to take this much to have, the life of your dreams, just imagine what it will be like once you've healed all of the blocks.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's you don't want to play it small.
Yeah, it is a constant investment that you are making every day, but once you get the bigger picture of your life, it's okay,
Yeah.
where do I sign for this? You do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And one more thing I want to share is Jeff and Shaleia say in the classes a lot how the work you have to do to get to your harmonious union or your perfect union is nothing. Shaleia's comment that she said she's grateful that kid dumped milk on me because it led you to us where you are now. It's so true. So it was little God moved through the little girl. So that's exactly it. You have challenges that contrasts that lead you to
change.
Yeah, to your harmonious union, lead you to God. So yeah, I don't remember what I was saying before, but yeah. I think it's just about, your dreams are a lot bigger than you realize. And so it takes a lot more effort, but once you get there, you realize how worth it it is, It's completely worth it. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah. It's and then one more thing is that you have all of these breakthroughs along the way, and they're always better than you thought. And Jeff made a tweet about that once, that God's way always takes a lot more work than you thought, but it's always better than you imagined. So that was my point. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, this feels pretty complete. Feels very, very light and
yeah, it feels the only thing left as a kind of a conclusion is that all of these challenges are just blessings in disguise, and once you see it as God sees it, as just an opportunity for you to go deeper into love, to make a new choice. And maybe it did require, a child to pour milk on you to choose to have a beautiful life. But my God.
and value yourself.
But my God, where are you now? Because of that, so for all the seasons, thank you for all the challenges that have brought us here. We can have a moment of gratitude for our journeys and for for Jeff and Shaleia for bringing us these teachings.
and for having the clarity about these fundamentals and
Mhm.
really being able to get clear about them and really understand them so we can go deeper with each of them.
Yep. Good. Any other closing comments? No? Okay. Well, then thank you everybody for joining in today in After Church Tea Time. We will see you around in the church and next Sunday for the next Sunday service and the next After Church Tea Time as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Revisit the 8 keys of harmonious union in the book. You know, grab the book and go to them again. Exactly. And go deeper in choosing love and choosing your harmonious union and building the life of your dreams. Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you for being with us, Jose and Michaela and Kiran and Stephanie. Amazing, amazing discussion. And see you around.
See you. Bye-bye.